to the LOUDLABS show with Kpook, the mayor.
Bass, how low can you go? Death Row, what a brother know. Once again, back is the incredible KP. You know, it's time for us to do the show again. It's the LOUDLABS show. Man, that Public Enemy just really hits real hard. This goes through my brain, so I might have to finish it again. Once again, back is the incredible, the rhyme animal, the uncannibal. God, that's this Chuck D. He was telling us all this stuff, man. I can't understand it. I just can't seem to understand why Chuck D was trying to tell us. Farrakhan's a prophet that I think you want to listen to. What he can say to you, what you ought to do is power for now. Power's what the people say. Make the miracle of the lyricals. Black is black, all in. We're gonna win. Check it out. Here we go again. It's the LOUDLABS show. Kpook, the mayor, we in the house. I got Scotty P, the producer. He's definitely here. Todd One is definitely in the house. And then we got a special guest in here today. I just met my man. He's gonna just educate us a little bit on this thing that we like to eat. Some people that I know out there is not really, they're trying to stay away from it, but we'll talk about it and you'll see what we're talking about. A lot of issues going on right now within the world, but we're gonna get to that too, because I love to talk to Todd about something like that. And once we get into the frame of things, we're gonna bring in our guests, because that's how we do it. It's the LOUDLABS show. You know it's going down. We'll be coming live to you pretty soon. Pay attention. See ya. Todd Betts, how you doing today?
I'm all right. What's up, Pook?
It's been a while, you know. We haven't seen each other in like 14 days, but the people don't know because they just tune into whatever show they want to see.
Just like it was yesterday.
Just like it was yesterday. You know, I'm really liking the Wolverine look that you always seem to bring in.
Yeah.
I got some compliments about you, about it, and how you look. Some girls say you're pretty sexy. I'm just gonna have to tell you, sexy Todd.
Yeah. They're still saying that.
Yeah, they're still saying it. They're even dipping into the chocolate that's saying that.
Well, if they're dipping into you,
you know they're not dipping.
you got the Wolverine chop going.
No,
That's because of you.
What is that?
That's because of you. He's waiting for. He's waiting for your dude.
Is it, you like Todd.
You're the Black Panther. You're the Black Panther. Wolverine, Black Panther.
I'm just talking about the bare necessities right now.
Speaking of Bears, Bears are playing the Packers, and Packers is Todd's team. That's why Todd keeps looking everywhere else but you.
And the good thing about this is, what are the Packers known for? Well, what is Green Bay known for? Or Wisconsin?
Brett Favre's dick.
Dick pics.
What is Wisconsin known for, really?
Cheese.
Okay, well, the guest we got today, I told him that you were a Packer fan.
Oh, yeah?
And he's a specialist in cheese.
Looks like he's a specialist in high socks.
He's a specialist all over it. He sure knows how to drink. He's a good drinker.
That's cool.
He's good to go. You know, I just met him.
Oh.
He's got a little story from.
You just met him downstairs now?
Yeah, just downstairs, walking with a
platter of cheese.
Platter of cheese.
I said, come on into the show, man. We didn't talk about some cheese. Because the Packers are on right now.
Yeah.
But besides that.
You been out fishing?
No, I went one time.
Yeah.
Went to Catalina.
Yeah.
You know, I had a good time in Catalina. I only caught 2 fish. Well, I caught 4 fish. No, I caught 5 fish, but only 2 I was able to bring home.
Did you catch a buzz?
Were too short. Not really.
Oh, sounds like a bad day.
I really don't like to drink on the boat unless I bring it myself, because they want to just charge you for every beer. So I like to hijack.
How many can you bring? I mean, can you bring on the day boats? Can you bring your?
No, you can't. They want to make all the money. They want all the money.
Well, no. So they check your coolers?
Not really, but you know, I snuck some in, and I snuck 2 in, and I put them under the little sleeve, and kept them cold.
Yeah.
But
really, they're checking coolers on day boats? That's what they do?
Well, what's happening is, what I noticed what they're doing is. Boom. I brought Tecates.
Right. They sell Tecate.
No, they sell Budweiser, Bud Light. So that you got to figure out what they're selling.
What they're selling, and then bring that.
So you don't want to get twisted. And where'd you get that from?
Well, I don't know. It's like
it's like shitty.
It is. It's like when they say you can't bring beers on the golf course. I mean, you do. Everybody does. Yeah. It's just
I'm already paying you $55 to get on your boat. So
no shit.
Let me bring my own.
Fuck off! I'm bringing my own beers. Get the fuck out of here.
I went to Disneyland too.
Oh yeah.
I haven't been to Disneyland in 17 years.
No, you're not missing much.
No, I had a wonderful fucking time.
Oh
at Disneyland. By myself, solo.
You went solo to Disneyland?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
What?
He
Are you kidding me?
He didn't go by himself.
You didn't go by yourself.
Listen, okay.
You might have showed up by yourself.
Here's how it works.
How long did you walk that place?
I meant to only stay there till 1 o'clock.
What, a new app called Disney Dates? What is that? What are you doing?
I should put that together.
No, it's together.
Meet me at the Matterhorn.
Meet me at the Matterhorn. I'm going to give you the Thunder Mountain.
Just give you the Thunder Mountain. Just dig fingers to Space Mountain. No, what I ended up doing was my old landlord had called me because he says he has an apartment open in Koreatown for me at a super cheap price.
I thought you just moved to Long Beach.
But I had to. But I kept him on alert because he's been looking to see. He thought I was still somewhere else, and so we met at Disneyland. He's like, I'm here at Disneyland. He came in on early last week, like a Thursday, and then he's leaving on Friday.
Yeah.
He spent the night there, brought his family and the whole nine. So I said, hey, I can't make it then, but I'll come on Friday.
Oh, you went on a Friday to Disneyland?
So I called Steve Miller, his cousin, Jessica, and she walked me in the park, like VIP passway.
Oh, yeah?
Just get up in there.
Yeah.
And she gave me the double pass over the double parks. I was going back and forth all day.
Yeah.
So I started off at California Adventure because I never got a chance to go there.
Right.
And when I was standing in line, I was looking. I was like, let's see how much it costs to get in this Mickey Ficky. It was $97 plus $50 if you wanted to go double park. So I was like, fools are paying this shit.
Yeah, man, it's fucking robbery.
It's
Plus,
robbery. Highway robbery.
Imagine you got a family.
No, that's all that's
You walked in solo. Imagine you got a family.
But it's a lot of what
you got to feed them.
I kind of talked to a lot of people, and the people that I talked to, I found out that a lot of them have the passes. So it's about.
Did you go on the wine ride?
No.
They don't sell alcohol at Disneyland, but they sell alcohol at California Adventure.
And
at the wine ride, it's a wine something, but we call it the wine
and
ride.
I thought when I went there, I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna be playing fucking Magic Mountain. I'm gonna be playing LA Dodger prices to get drunk at Disneyland, right?"
That's how you associate beer cost.
Beer cost is LA. Whenever beer cost is at the Dodger Stadium, when I go to any other event, that's what I'm already expecting.
Funny.
But beer was only $8.65. Stella, it was a weird price, but it was only $8. But I didn't get one because I did something.
You got two.
I even put it on my Instagram. I showed how to do Disneyland, but only $60. $20 to get in, and $40 to spend on eating and other things.
Did you get a corn dog?
No.
What? How do you not get the corn dog?
I had my beer.
Dude, the corn dogs.
I've drunk beer. I drank 3 beers when I got in the parking lot. I drank 3 beers. Tecates, took them to the head, and I stopped off at Subway and got me a $6 sandwich. And I sat in my car.
So your $40 wasn't even put towards food at Disneyland.
so that's how I started. I started with 3 beers, and a Subway sandwich, foot long. And I walked to the park. I wasn't hungry all day.
You're right.
So then later on in the day, I finally got a little hungry, and I picked the wrong fucking place to go eat.
Yeah, you're at Disneyland.
No, but there's some places.
Hey, last time you were at Disneyland, you had a good time.
There's some places.
We talking about that, Scott, or are we all keeping hush tones about our
I was just
personal
saying
lives?
you were having a good time. I didn't say anything about how good of a time.
I was out there. Last time I was at Disneyland, I had a fucking horrible time.
Yeah, well, I had a great time because I haven't been there in 17 years. First ride I went on the roller coaster.
You know what I hate about Disneyland?
What?
Everything.
It brought back childhood memories for me. What are you talking about?
Fucking kids, parents, fucking waiting in lines. It's bullshit.
Oh, man, I waited in line. But one thing I could tell you was, I saw my landlord. We hung out.
Yeah.
So hey, I'm doing this with my kids, and we'll meet me right here, and we're gonna go ride Pirates of the Caribbean before we leave. Mm-hmm. So we get in line. The Pirates line was 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Oh, why don't you let people get in front of you? That sounds like fun, huh? Let's go ahead. Oh, I'm having a great time here in the fucking park.
The ride went all the way, and I'm like thinking oh fuck, because we're in the Disneyland side, and he's like, I can't do this. I got to beat traffic. I got to get home. He lives way out in Thousand Oaks somewhere. And I said, okay, so you're just going to leave me here? But for some strange reason, when he left, that line just started moving, right? It starts moving. So I had an epiphany when I was thinking here. I was sitting here in this line, and I'm like, fucking Disneyland. You know what? This place is really fucked up. It's ran by a mouse, right? It's a mouse that runs Disneyland,
Yeah.
okay? Or a
Yeah.
rat, or whatever you want to figure it out. And what they're doing is reverse psychology. Why do I say that?
Why?
Is because when we are testing mice, what do? We put them in these little mazes to go back and forth, left and right to get
Right.
to the cheese.
Right.
So he's getting you back?
So they're getting us back because when I have to drive in, I have to go way over here, to go way over here, to go over here, to go over here to park, and every fucking line is way over here, to go way over here, to go way over there, criss, 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 cross, 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 and then you get in. The fucking mouse has turned us into a
You know
mouse,
how you avoid all that?
human mouse.
You know how you avoid all that? Don't go.
But I was there, and I was only going to stay there a couple hours, and then
I can't believe you lasted that fucking long.
Well, then I said, this is how I lasted this long. Because I didn't leave to the park closed.
3 beers and a 6 foot, or 3 beers and a
Jesus,
foot long.
Pook.
I said, getting in this bitch, I would never do this again for free. So let me just ride this motherfucker out, and I'll just rub my feet later on.
Right, so you're good for what? Another 17 years, right?
Good for another 17 years easy. Till I have my first child is big enough to say, hey, Mickey. I don't have to go to that fucking rat-infested
The
place
fucking
ever
maze,
again.
right. Yeah.
You know, I think in the 8-9 hours I was there, I think I only rode like 5 rides. Roller
It
coaster.
sounds like you had a wonderful time.
What rides?
I
What
did.
rides?
I rode the roller coaster, Pirates of the Caribbean.
What roller coaster? Space Mountain?
No, the roller coaster, the big one on California Adventure.
Okay.
California Adventure, roller coaster, Space Mountain, of course, because it's mandatory. And then I rode what used to be called the People Movies, or the Incredible Shrinking People. So I rode Star Tours. And then I rode Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, because I had to go on over to the old school Disney, which I appreciate.
I'll give you props on Mr. Toads.
Mr. Toad's.
Mr. Toads is one of my faves, all
Mr.
time
Toad's
faves.
is the
Yeah.
all-time fave.
Yeah.
And I got on, see, that's 4. What else did I get my dumb ass on?
Oh fuck! What's wrong with
Oh
Rogers?
no. Rogers.
Rogers in his white
I
tighties
was gonna
tonight.
say, Rogers doesn't look too
Shut up. He's fine. He's fine.
patootie cutie in the white pants. Only person that can rock the white pants is Gilbert and Brett Favre.
Yeah. Well, they had a lightning strike. They cleared everybody out of the stadium earlier in this game.
He didn't make it. Well, anyway, so 4 or 5 rides, whatever. But it was fun. And then I got drunk.
How'd you get drunk on only $60?
Because I had an old girlfriend of mine take me to one of these executive hotels that's in Disneyland. And we just sat there, and she paid for all the drinks.
All right. So that turned out to be a good day.
So that was at the end. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do I have to go back again?
No.
Don't want to take a date there?
No.
But the one good thing about going by yourself is when you're going, you kind of get through the line a little faster. And I like the part.
How are you ever by yourself when you're at Disneyland? You're not.
Because everyone everywhere. Everyone everywhere, little kids screaming for this and screaming for that. It was like it was Disneyland. Like I said, I don't have to do it, but I do want to go to Six Flags.
Right. Well, can we stop talking about Disneyland?
Yeah, let's just done with the rat. He
done
owns
with the
everything. Done with the rat. So besides that,
He does own everything.
I'm getting ready for my new job. I got a new job.
You're done with the city?
No, still with the city.
Yeah.
But I'm taking on this new job.
The season slowed down at the city.
Season slowed down, so new job. Working with this company called.
He's doing what Sam did.
I don't even know. But I'm a laboratory. I'm a courier for a laboratory.
Right.
So I'm be dropping off the goods.
That's cool.
Every time I think about it, I think about half baked.
Yeah. The
Doctor.
Chappelle. Yeah, the Chappelle. Go down to the thing and get this for me.
Go get this for me.
Be right back. What's that thing he says at the end? About that joke about when he hands the guy the mop. You know, what's that thing? You know, the joke he does at the end. He goes, "No, how about you?" He sends him about a custodian. I don't know something. He hands him the mop. And he goes, "How about you do my job for a second or something?" It's a funny exchange.
I'm gonna have to look that one up though. But
yeah.
So I, in a year and 2 months probably, basically gonna almost work out too. I have found myself a great job, 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
10 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
10 to 7. Cool.
10 to 7.
That's Pook hours.
That's perfect Pook hours.
Yeah.
10 to 7, and then
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, 401k, full health and all the good benefits. So I landed myself. I'm a real American society paying bills bastard now.
All right. Good for you, Pook.
So, Todd,
What we got going on today?
wait, before we go on, because we got to get, it wouldn't even be right. Look at the rain.
Yeah, no, that was earlier.
That's
That's earlier, I think. Or is that now? Is that live?
Right now. That's viciously
Oh shit, that is now.
Yeah, they called the game earlier. They had the rain delay. They had the weather delay. They had lightning strikes all over the place.
So,
So,
let's get into this Donald Trump Pledge of Allegiance nonsense.
he's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot. You know, that's the thing. Dude, what a fucking moron. This dude called them sons of bitches. And normally, you know what's funny? Normally, every time you say somebody, you're like, oh, what are you, son of a bitch? Nobody ever fucking brings up the fact that's your mom you're talking about. I mean, it's kind of a glance over. But as soon as he called all the NFL players sons of bitches, like, what the fuck you say?
The president?
Fuck you. Oh, fuck you, man. No, he's an idiot. Like, he doesn't get, like, I mean, look, I'm not a fan of Kaepernick's, but... You know, with Kaepernick, was fucking, his whole premise is, he's like, look, there's a lot of inequality, and this great country that we stand up and salute this flag is kind of fucked to a whole giant swath of these people, us, black skin, brown skin people in America. So they're not, that's what I'm saying, these guys, and they're all in unison, white players, Mexican players, black players, they get it. They're like, you know what? No, you don't get it. You don't get it, President. They're just telling them, like, it's not about us fucking disrespecting the flag or soldiers or whatever. We're doing this as a protest to say, hey, fuck you.
For saying, calling everybody.
Well, no,
it wasn't even that.
They're just saying, fuck you for calling our moms sons of bitches now. Right. But these players aren't doing it to disrespect soldiers. They're not doing it to disrespect the national anthem. They're doing it to say, hey, man, everybody in Congress, all you fucking old white crackers, we got a fucking problem here. And these fucking cops keep getting fucking acquitted and not fucking convicted on murder charges when they shoot dudes in the back for eight rounds go inside them. They're just pissed. People are pissed that this country seems to be, it favors a lot of the fucking, the rats, the Mickeys.
Yes,
the
Mickeys.
He's just saying it's fun. Now, granted, like, you can turn that around also where people are saying, oh, well, you're disrespecting our flag and these soldiers fought for our country. Okay, well, no one's taking that away from you. Thank you for going and doing that. But these dudes are, and on top of everything.
Isn't it bullshit that guy had to come apologize for standing out there by himself from the Steelers? He came and apologized for standing there by himself. He didn't need to apologize for that.
That's the bigger thing. Fuck Donald Trump for fucking dragging these motherfuckers into this.
Mark Anthony said it best. Shut the fuck up about the NFL and get your ass to Puerto Rico.
And now he's got the fucking dragging the NBA players into it.
And it's funny. He's dragging what you and I talked about this. The two most colored sports. And then the one. What did he praise? What sport did he praise?
NASCAR.
He fucking praised NASCAR.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. This
Read between the lines.
This dude thinks he's not dividing our country. He's a uniter. Dude, you know what? This fucking, and after he's done in this 4 years, this country will never be more divided, except for you and me. We'll be
so right now, right now in golf, there's the President's Cup. So
is he there?
No, he's not. But 3 sitting presidents were sitting there together, smiling, and at some point they looked at each other and goes, "What the fuck's that guy doing?"
Oh yeah, it was.
You had Bush,
Billy.
You had Clinton, and you had Obama. They're just sitting there loving because they all love golf. So they're sitting there with all the golfers.
And then on 60 Minutes last week, they had all these fucking people in Michigan doing a fucking roundtable fucking country talk, and 7 people who voted for him, and I watched 7 people who didn't vote for him. And all these people are just like, no, you just don't get him. Give him a fucking chance. Give him a fucking chance. Dude, this dude, I'm telling you, Pook, in 4 years, in 4 years, I bet you're on the brink of civil war.
We might not be here because of fucking North Korea and him. He poking that rocket man.
Except for you and me.
He poking that rocket man.
Always.
Nuts and bolts.
Like a twisted fucking J.
Twisted J.
Tight and full of good stuff.
Tight. Like we in prison, guys would say, man.
Previous home?
Previous home. That people would say, man, that dude is tight as fly pussy.
Yeah.
Tight.
What was the nicknames again for the fucking the guy the the homosexuals and what was the name is Kim Kardashian and
Penis Williams. I wish I could find
if anybody's looking for Halloween ideas this year for Halloween, Kim Kardashian and Penis Williams are on them. They're out there.
The best costumes out there.
Best costumes.
So listen, now that you mentioned Halloween, I'm gonna do the best costume. Are you ready for this costume that I'm gonna do? You know my buddy B Wild, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the other day before I dropped him off to the airport, he was wearing this shirt. You know, he has the long hair, the glasses. He's wearing this shirt that said Kato, like Kato. Right?
Kato.
You guys gonna be Kato and OJ?
Kato, me and him, and we're gonna sit in front of my expedition, and I'm gonna get an O.J. Simpson jersey or a T-shirt, and he's gonna be Kato Kalin.
You know, you get AJ to come down and be Cal.
Al Collins.
Hey man, too soon. That's bad taste. Too soon.
No.
Right, and be Al Collins where you're gonna get Bronco.
We're gonna just be O.J. and Kato Kalin. He looks just like him, but.
He does kind of look like him. A little bit.
He's so young, he doesn't even know Kato Kalin.
And I mean, and you look like OJ, right?
Well, I will sooner.
I mean, don't you all look alike? Isn't that how that works?
Like Al Collins.
All right, come on, let's get our guests. Let's get our guests at the table. I'm dying to meet this motherfucker.
Okay. All right.
And another touchdown for the Packers.
It's about time. Shit, it was about time.
Fuck about time. It's 21-7.
Okay, so
Not anymore. It's 28 now.
we're getting ready to bring in our guest. He's going to welcome us to the Lions Den. Bradley, come on down and come sit on and come tell us your story because we really need this story.
Bradley to the table. Hey, how many white guys you brought us?
This is 2?
Many. Too many. What's up, sir?
Hello.
Hello.
What's going on, my man?
Well, I feel good to be here. What's going on?
I mean, that's what we're coming to ask you.
Okay,
Because
cool.
Todd, see, listen, I go out and I look for guests, right? Remember you and I were talking at the bar?
Yeah.
And we were spitting a little game with each other.
Yep.
And I said, I got to have you.
What bar did you meet Kpook at?
Little Joy. Echo Park.
Echo. Okay.
Yeah.
Echo Park. So I'm in over there with the,
Yeah.
You know, I'm over there.
You running
hanging
around
out.
Echo Park looking like this?
Big time.
All right.
I'm all over LA looking like this.
All right, Bradley. I feel you. You got a unique style over here.
I wake up. Yeah, I wake up in this. It's
Are you from Los Angeles?
I've been here 11 years, but originally Idaho.
Idaho.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Boise.
This is getting good.
That's it. Right outside Boise.
Right outside of Boise,
Yep.
huh? Yeah.
They have this event. Is there a city in Boise called Pendleton?
Pendleton is in Oregon,
It's
but
in Oregon?
in eastern Oregon, so pretty close to the border of Idaho.
Right. They have an event up there like once a year. One of my good friends was DJing it. So, yeah, this little shouts out to Pendleton.
Okay, so let's just start from the beginning. 11 years ago? What makes you fucking split the Idaho?
All right.
Been to Idaho, right?
That's what did it. I mean, yeah, I was living in. I got a degree in general studies from the University of Idaho in 2004, and then I worked for the Forest Service.
Oh, you work for the Forest Service?
I actually
the U.S. Forest
I worked
Service?
for the U.S. Forest Service 3 summers doing trail crew stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, one year there's the Frank Church Wilderness in Idaho, which takes up about a third of the whole state, all roadless wilderness.
Right.
So one year I was on trail crew in that wilderness. We were 10 days.
How many? 10 days in? 10 days in?
10 days
when's
in.
When's the longest time you've been in the interior? How long? 10?
10. Yeah, it was 10.
10?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 days in.
Camping.
We'd hike 10 miles the first day, 10 miles the next day. We'd be like 20, 30 miles from a road.
How far in you go in from base?
Yeah, like 20, 30 miles from a road, you know?
Just
and,
all hiking.
Hiking, and then every now and again, if we had a specific project, we'd put our stuff on a mule train.
Yeah.
They'd carry in all of our tools, and so we'd just be able to hike without like an 80-pound pack.
Right.
Because when you start, you got all your food for 10 days.
Yeah. Yeah, right, yeah.
It was cool, dude. It was gnarly.
Yo, U.S. Forest Service, you know, I just got back from a trip in June in Minnesota. I was up in the Boundary Waters up in Canada, and the U.S. Forest Service guys, like I said, my buddy lives in the middle of nowhere, and then we boat in, we portage our boat a few times, 3 different portages, and one of the times we were there, I saw 2 U.S. Forest Service guys, because a couple weeks prior, the trails that had trees that got knocked down on it, and for people, so they're out there with chainsaws, and these dudes they canoed in, and they had their shit on a bank, hidden, and then they walked the 2 miles into where the trees are coming down at. They're in there fucking hacking them down, and so we stopped halfway in. I talked to them, asked them how many days they're in. Sometimes they stay out there for 2-3 weeks at a time, off base. They got little ranger stations where they go and get their supplies and whatnot.
Sure, yeah.
But U.S. Forest Service, all right, Badley. Yeah, that's good. That's one good point right there on the board, there for you.
I actually applied to work in the Boundary Waters 2 summers, and just didn't get through.
No.
So, but yeah, that's really turned me on.
The Boundary Waters was an amazing. I was there for 7 days. I fished 4 days out of the 7, and it was just. I mean, it's crazy up there. At some point too, like they don't even let you have motorized boats anymore. Like I didn't do any canoeing, but there was dudes that were filthy grimy that were out there for 3 weeks coming in off the portages, because you can only stay out there so long.
Yeah, you have 14 days, and then you have to move. I think like a mile and a half.
Right.
And then you do 14 days.
Yeah. Because they make you have to get it's like a lottery. It's like tickets. You can only so they only afford so many people to be out there.
I understand.
What I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
They only allow so many people out there at a time.
Yeah.
But yeah, at some point too, they don't let anybody with the motorized boats in. You got to canoe in further.
Yeah, because it's all wilderness, which is non-motorized area.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's how they keep it clean. They keep it pristine. It was nice. All right, so boundaries, the U.S. Forest Service.
There you go.
Right. Okay, so then you did that for a little bit, and then what makes you want to split and boogie to Los Angeles?
Okay.
Let me guess.
How can I make this quick?
Guns N' Roses video. You're gonna be
girls.
You being a rock star. You gonna be a rock star.
First, how old are you?
I'm 36.
All right.
So that's
36.
Good age.
All right. I was working I graduated at University of Idaho in Moscow, Idaho.
Yeah.
I went to Stevens Pass outside Seattle, did a liaison project with the Forest Service, doing Rails to Trails thing, and then ended up back in Moscow for
doing rails on trails. What was that?
Rails to Trails. It's like they take like an old rail bed and turn it into a like handicap accessible trail.
Got it.
So then I ended up back in Moscow for a girl, even though I kind of like had a vision to like do this like year-round Forest Service working, pay off my student loans. It got like derailed by love.
Sidetracked.
And so I ended up back in Moscow, and then while I was in Moscow, I started doing. I did a number of things. I started booking. I started booking bands. I started throwing shows. I was doing live sound. I was doing the cover, door, all that stuff. And then I ended up applying and getting work at this little co-op. And then that co-op there, I ended up picking up a job with it, just like cutting cheese wheels and then wrapping them individually, pricing them, then putting them out, and that was it, right? It was like 8 hours of just like cutting cheese wheels and wrapping them and putting them out, right?
Fucking Kpook, man.
So then,
okay, Bradley.
So then they bought a larger location, so they had a larger footprint, and then they created a cheese department. And they put up a cheese manager position, and it's because it was all hippie. They honored people within the company to hire first, right? So I applied for it.
They moved up within the company.
Yeah, it's like I was all psyched. I was just like, damn, this is what I want, So like,
cheese is what I want.
So like I was like 20. Fuck man, I was like 24. 23, 24. So
just living the cheese dream. 24.
I like write this
living
like
the cheese life.
endearing, like heartfelt fucking letter about like I don't know anything about cheese, but I know it's my life, my calling. Like,
All right.
So I like hand it in, and they're like, okay, they interview me, and we're like interviewing. This
guy's
like,
passionate.
What is a cheese interview?
Just like, okay, they're just asking me questions, like, okay, well, like, maybe, do you think you're qualified? And they're like, well, you have a general studies degree, it's like.
Okay, wait, and I'm not, and Bradley, trust me, I dig your vibe, but I'm saying, but do you look like this then? Are you going in with the? You're a rock star. You're a rock star.
Idaho is a little. I mean, yeah. Idaho's a little different too,
I like. I'm just saying. But are you just like, hey, I'm confident. This is the fuck. I'm a cheese star. I want this.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheese star.
I
like it.
I haven't changed much.
Right.
Let's
Okay.
just
Good.
say that.
All right. You got your style. I dig it. I dig it. All right. So
okay,
you're in the
interview is going on. Okay, and then at the end they're like, okay, well, this, we'll think about it.
Pump the brakes, Bradley. Pump the brakes. Hang on a minute.
They're like, well, think about it. You're the only person that applied.
Yeah. All right.
So I'm like,
wait, what is there to think about?
Yeah, what are you thinking about? So
you're the only person that applied so far.
Oh shit.
So anyway, got the job. They gave me a list. They're like, we're gonna take a chance. We don't know anything. We know you don't know anything. They gave me a list of like co-ops to call. I called. I called like a
co-op. What is the co-op?
That's a good question. So a co-op like.
That'd been the first question I asked in the interview, right? Do you know what the fuck a co-op is? What?
Okay,
what is it?
all right, so it's changed a little bit over the years, but in the 70s, so in Idaho in like the 70s, when a lot of the hippies were moving into those areas, those mountainous areas,
and white supremacists,
very good,
right?
And,
right? Bradley? Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
They've come and gone depending on.
All right. Very, very popular
Idaho's
state.
a good place.
It was a very popular state for neo-Nazis and white supremacists. Just putting it out there.
Okay, now we know.
Just info. That's info I have, folks.
Idaho is a good place to go when you get kicked out of another place.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you're not going to get kicked out of Idaho eventually.
No. Right.
Yeah.
Idaho's got rules too, right?
It's just that there's like 1.2 million people in the whole state of Idaho.
Yeah. Get it. I got it.
Gnarly.
It's a lot. It's crammed in there.
Okay, so
the co-op.
Okay, the co-ops. Okay, so cooperatives are a group of people that they all essentially buy in with their time. So you work a certain amount of hours, a certain amount of times during the week, and then you get access to buying like grains, products. So you get the cost versus like the retail, the double.
Got
right?
it. Okay, so that's why people generally back in the day when co-ops started, that's the allure of a co-op.
Right.
You put time in, you get the product at cost.
And it also promotes like a sense of community.
Right. Community. Yeah. Yep. Get it.
So then over time, obviously, since the 70s, everything's changed. Corporations, everything, right? So now there's 2 co-ops in Idaho versus in the 70s, I think there were around 45.
Wow.
So now there's 2 co-ops in Idaho, one in Boise, one in Moscow, and both of them kind of still follow that footprint of like, you can buy in and work, but it's still just like
hard to beat Walmart.
Businesses.
It's hard to beat Walmart nowadays, right?
So anyway, that's the co-op. So they gave me a list of co-ops to call. I called every co-op and asked for the cheese department or the specialty food department.
Wait. Now you're saying that. So does every co-op have a cheese department?
No, but every co-op.
They give you a list that had a cheese department.
Well, no, they gave me a list of like, here's all our partner co-ops across America.
Oh, get them involved with cheese.
Or just like learn, like it's like you don't know anything, we don't know anything.
Learn this.
Figure
this out.
Figure it out. Find out.
Right.
Because we need a cheese department at the new place.
Right, in every new place. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, Bradley.
So then I called everywhere, talked to everybody, read some books. They sent me to Seattle to work with this guy, Roger, at another co-op. I worked with him for a weekend. He showed me his case, showed me kind of like, toured me around Seattle to some of the other cheese spots.
I'm betting you like Seattle.
What's up?
I'm betting you liked Seattle.
Seattle's great. I actually really dig Seattle.
Yeah, who doesn't?
And then I went to a food show. I went to this. I don't know if you've ever been to a food show, like a event at a convention center.
No.
But it's like, so there was like 200 stalls full of like.
Right. I mean, I've been
importers.
to convention shows. I get it. How it works.
So it's food. So like, it was my first time ever in any of that realm at all. Right. I walk in, I'm like, oh my god! I just like start eating everything. I was like eating everything. I got so full, I like went to the lobby and like passed out in the lobby, like holding my belly, like
full of cheese, right? All right.
Full of everything.
That was a crazy day too. There's another story to that. But anyway,
we'll have to be back on.
Then I was working at a radio station, and then I was a music director at another radio station, and I was just like had my hands full. I was doing a lot of stuff, and I decided to go to this. I met this friend Jason, who is preparing to go to the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
Which is a full intensive program for recording, mostly based in studio recording, with a small live recording part.
Yeah.
But so I met him, and I had been recording a lot of my music and my friends' music with using Kpook and back in the day, and I was excited about it. I was working for the live sound department at the University of Idaho, and so it all kind of started making sense.
What do you play instruments? You play?
I play enough instruments to know that I need to learn every instrument better.
You need to read.
Okay. Damn it, I love it.
Well, okay, so I took piano.
That's how I feel about golf.
Wait,
I play enough golf.
What's your strongest instrument?
Well, I took piano lessons first
in
my life, and then I took harmonica lessons, and then I played alto saxophone in middle school.
Dude, you're fucking wait. Bradley. You starting without you starting with all the fucking nerdy instruments like piano. I like piano. It's good. But harmonica? Who takes harmonica?
I don't know. I still look back at that and I'm like,
don't you just put the harmonica in your mouth and just learn?
Hey, but that was probably good to know on that hiking trail, right?
Well,
at night when you're.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I took lessons from this dude, Fat John, and he was part of this he was Fat John and the whatevers, this blues project, and
of course,
it was way more fun to hang out with Fat John than it was to actually play the damn harmonica. You know?
You rarely meet guys or kids that I'm a musician. Well, what do you play?
Harmonica. You drop your all your scales.
I play the cymbal.
Right.
Ding, ding, ding.
Right. No.
But yeah. So
okay. So
at this point,
so you're recording live music.
Right. So recording a lot of live music, and I decided, okay, screw it. I'm gonna go visit my friend Jason
It's back to cheese. Music's not working. We're going back to cheese.
No, I'm still working in cheese.
Oh, you're still in cheese.
When they put the new co-op into the new place,
yeah,
I created the cheese department. So I went from knowing nothing about cheese to being a cheese manager and fully developing a cheese department. Then doing all the buying, doing all the research, was it one person department, doing all of the inventory, yada. Do you
know how to make cheese?
I have yet to learn that skill. But I mean, that's one thing that's on the list. Take a few months off and go to a farm and just immerse myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We made cheese in jail. We made it. We made cheese in jail.
From under cheese.
No, it was from under your arm. But we made some cheese
from under my nuts.
It's fermented cheese.
Yeah, it's been fermenting for 12 hours.
Yeah, we used they would use pickle juice and all kinds of weird shit.
Okay,
but that's fascinating.
Yeah, no.
You can make cheese in jail.
Oh, they made cheese.
Bradley, you ever been in jail?
They had cheese and wine.
Never been in jail?
I've been in a holding cell at a on the way to Austin, where you go through one of those border checkpoints.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So
they found a little marijuana.
Yeah, that's my next question.
You're kidding me.
No way. Marijuana. No way.
Okay.
Yeah, they frown upon that stuff in other places.
So Bradley, what are you doing now?
What do you do here?
Well, we got to figure out how did you get to L.A.? How did you get to L.A.?
All right. So then I got gung-ho about the conservatory. So I said sayonara, Idaho. Ended up in Phoenix. Went to the conservatory.
How'd you miss Los Angeles and hit Phoenix?
Well, that's where the school was.
Oh, right. Okay, the recording school.
And then I had a friend in Portland. So after I got done, I went to Portland.
You're going fucking north-south, north-south. I mean, you're just ping-ponging, dude.
He's like Rob
Woods. I was working at this club called Satyricon, the fill-in guy, and I was working at this other club called the Meow Meow Club or something like that, fill-in, right? So I was working some live sound. But it wasn't enough, and it was holidays, and so I was going through Craigslist, and there was this ad for cheesemonger, and I was like, shit, I know how to do that.
Craigslist, of course.
What's a cheesemonger?
Cheesemonger is the official professional term for a cheese seller. So monger means to sell.
Got it.
So fishmonger, cheesemonger, warmonger, sexmonger,
Got
those good things.
Got it.
So I went and I worked at this spot, but it was my first time working at a case. So what I was doing in Idaho was wrapping and pricing everything and putting it out. So now at this other place, I'm saying, how much do you want? And the customer is saying, I want a third of a pound or a quarter pound. and now I'm cutting a specific amount for them, wrapping.
Are you pretty dialed in with math? Are you able to handle
Well, yeah,
that?
he got
I got
busted for
100%
marijuana. I'm
geometry.
sure he knows his math.
So it's giant.
I got 100% geometry in high school.
What do you want? All right, I can handle that.
So then I was like, okay, Portland, snooze fest, and I bailed for LA. And a lot of that had to do with the industry.
How do you get there? Like, cause I'm picturing it's the Motley Crue video. It's the Home Sweet Home on the big Greyhound bus, and Bradley's just cruising out the window, just dreaming like cheese wheels.
I'm thinking of VW bus.
and heading down to Los Angeles. Okay, so you make it to Los Angeles.
Yep.
Where do you land?
Highland Park.
Highland Park.
Yep.
Oh, not a bad spot.
A back
Not
house.
knowing anything about it or anything, you're just like Highland Park. Okay.
Pretty much. I mean, I had a
What year
friend,
was this?
The 2007, February.
February.
Yeah, right before you left us, Pook.
Right before.
Right
yeah.
before you left us.
It was still kind of.
Pook lived in a different location for a while.
So Highland Park in 2007.
Yep.
That must have been a change of a world from where you.
What you're used to.
What you're used to.
It
And
was. I mean,
so when you saw LA and came to LA, was it like, okay, this isn't what I pictured. This isn't. How did you perceive LA when you came here?
well, I'd come through LA a couple times already, and the first time I came here, I went on this bike ride with this group called the Midnight Riders. And
Oh yeah, I remember that's the whole group. You know who used to do it? Oliver.
Oliver,
I
yeah,
used to do
Oliver.
that. Yeah.
and it was
And
2005.
Sam and everybody. Yeah.
And it was in 2005. There was just a once a month thing,
Yeah.
and it was a
It kind of got big.
to
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Right. Hundreds of you guys.
Hundreds and hundreds of people, and
Yeah.
it was called the Cult Ride. And I went out and like dressed like a weirdo cult member. I mean, I don't have to try these days to do that, but like. Then like it was, and then there were like hundreds and hundreds of people dressed all freaky.
Yeah, a lot of those dudes were getting hit by cars and they'd start fights in front of bars. I mean, it got kind of out of hand.
It got out of hand for
Yeah.
sure.
Fucking bikes don't have
But,
brakes.
Like when I did that in 2005 was the first time I came to LA, and it broke all the stereotypes I had ever heard about LA. I was like, oh,
What was
well,
stereotypes you heard?
Well, I mean, the handful that every person in Portland told me before I left to come to LA.
It's because they hate us.
It's it's so smoggy there. Oh, the people are all like uptight and shitty, like
And rude. and
rude, like
You know what? I don't find
the traffic's gonna be horrible.
Right. I mean, that traffic is horrible. Maybe you can't get around that. But people.
They might have got 2 out of 5 right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
people,
water.
People say, yeah, the water. Well, nobody drinks. Yeah, okay, this isn't Colorado Springs, okay? Go to a fucking store and buy some
Buy
fucking
some alkaline water and
yeah,
get the,
purified
shut the
water.
fuck up.
Yeah, no, LA. For the most part, I've had some friends from Michigan coming and going, and they're always like, oh man, the people are so rude and like scary in Los Angeles. And their experience though. With them being out here, they're like, dude, everybody's so fucking nice. Everyone's polite and says hi. So I think people always kind of give Los Angeles as like these yoga, vegan, uptights, like fucking aristocratic bullshit. And I think Los Angeles is a pretty good melting pot of a lot of different cultures and a lot of, I think people are pretty cool in Los Angeles for the most part. Yeah, you get a couple shitheads here and there, like everywhere.
Yeah.
New York, yeah, they act like you got nobody. New York, the shithead. Come on. So anyway. Your experience it's been good.
It's been good,
All
yeah. I worked at the airliner. It was one of my first gigs when I came into town, and I was doing live sound there like a couple times a week, and then I ended up at Trader Joe's.
What bands came through the airliner that you liked? That you really
to be honest, it's so long ago now that.
And probably a lot of weed ago.
Fuck yeah.
All right. All right.
And everything else in between.
All right. Yeah.
But
And that's one thing you gotta love is California weed, right?
Oh shit, yeah.
Well, Idaho, they probably had some pretty good stuff up there, right?
Yeah, I mean, the best stuff that we would get, we would call beasters. They're like the British Columbia weed. But
right. Canadian.
That's so long ago now. I don't know what's going on there. But
well, you're in the right spot for weed now, Bradley.
Right.
And cheese.
I do know one thing. Like this is pretty ridiculous. Like I've got so used to just like, I'm walking down the street, roll a spliff like while I'm walking, no problem. Like smoke up. Like don't even care. Like not even paying attention where I am. Right. And then like you go to Idaho. I go to Idaho. I'm visiting my friends. And like I'm just like, all right, let's go smoke a bowl. And they're like, okay, my friends. And we're like walking around. They're like, no, it's not a good spot.
This one's not a good spot.
No,
This is not a good spot. And then when you're smoking, they're like,
like handing it to you.
Where the fuck are you supposed to smoke?
Yeah. What the fuck? I was just like, God, like I'm like losing my high as I'm getting high right now. God damn it. Like,
Yeah, that sucks. I hear that, man.
but anyway, yeah. So I'm in California. I'm in LA. I work for. I don't do anything with cheese right away. I worked for Airliner and then Trader Joe's. Dump Trader Joe's, one of the only jobs I've actually just called and been like, I'm not coming in. And it was Super Bowl Sunday, and I went to a Super Bowl party, and I talked to this dude Flip, who got me my next job at SDI, which was in the NFL Network building in Culver City.
Yeah.
It was a subtitling company, and I was doing like subtitling work and whatever. And then a year after that, I quit my job to ride my bicycle across the country. Me and my buddy that are in this band Thunderstorm together, we rode from Venice Beach to Brooklyn, Oregon on bicycles.
That's not across the country. It's up the coast. It's not across the country. It's up the coast. So during this whole time, did you put cheese on the side?
You know, I didn't. Cheese hadn't fully I hadn't like fully just like immersed. Yeah.
Yeah. Mongered. You haven't fully mongered.
I hadn't become the monger that I am now. You know.
Right.
So I rode my bike across the country. We played 30 shows across the country on the bike tour, and then I got back to LA, and it was recession, 2008, and it was like across the country we were seeing like pictures of dudes like ripping their hair out in Wall Street and shit, you know, and like
jumping out of windows.
And we were just like, whatever, that's not real. Like we're free as fuck. Like, you know. So we got back, and then it was just like, oh damn, like I couldn't even get a call back for an interview. Okay. And I was like, oh, that's real. So I went up north to trim marijuana for a little bit, and while I was in Mendocino. Yeah, I was just north of Mendocino. It's the town, Mendocino town. And when I was up there, I got a call back from Jones on 3rd in West Hollywood to sell cheese. So when I was like, okay, well, I'll be back, blah, blah.
Wait, Jones on 3rd, this is a cheese shop?
They have a cheese case. They also, they're a catering company. Okay. They do deli. They have Sandwiches. They do like a bakery. They have a bakery goods place. They do coffee. Okay. It's like kind of a place you go in, you get a number, and then you can go to any of the stations, and they just put your thing on your number, and then you go sit down, and all your stuff comes to the table at once. Okay. It's actually, I give it 2 thumbs up. It's great.
You work there now?
No. I worked there for about 3 months.
Super Bowl Sunday again?
Fell in love.
That's twice now. That's twice that's fucked you.
And ended up moving to San Francisco.
Oh, they love us up there.
I moved into San Francisco, and then I got a job at the Ferry Building with Cowgirl Creamery. So now I'm selling cheese again.
Back in the cheese.
I'm back in the cheese.
Back in the cheese.
And this place is pretty reputable, and it's specializing in American cheese making. And so it's like the cheese shelf had about 80% American cheese, and which is something that I hadn't really delved into yet or really understood. So now I'm just like fully immersing myself in not only American cheese, but the cheese culture itself. And Cowgirl Creamery is a very reputable name, and like having it on my resume was super big. So I did that for a while. The love affair melted, the job affair melted, everything melted, and I just like bailed back to LA.
Instead of going back to Idaho, good.
San Francisco was just not my gig, for sure.
It's tough.
It was not.
San Francisco is a whole different entity.
Well, the guy who replaced me, actually the dude who replaced me, my good friend Jeff, who we've kind of been transferring or working together out of cheese gigs for a while. He told me he had just come from. He was the last person to leave Cowgirl. And
I had no idea. Wait, I just said the cheese biz. The cheese biz is fucking crazy. I mean, a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of facets. You know.
So he left Cowgirl Creamery. He was the last employee to leave, and he took my job at Jones on 3rd, and I was the first employee to be hired at Cowgirl Creamery. So we, in effect, we switched places.
Right. Cheese identities.
And he told me right before I left, he's like, "Man, San Francisco, be careful. Like, be careful of the beatdown." That's the exact words he said. Like, be careful of the beatdown. And I went there, and now I understand. Like, it's
What is the beatdown?
the beatdown is just that relentless smugness, that relentless just like ego, and
There's cheese ego. Wait, there's egos in cheese.
No, it's just I feel like it's the peninsula more than it is Oakland. Like Oakland has its own.
Oh, you're
cool
talking about
thing.
you're talking about San Francisco.
Just talking about the way.
No,
The
the
vibe.
egos up there. Yeah,
Yeah, the
right.
vibe
And then
up there.
also the summer, like there is no summer. It's just like rains on your face.
Here's a good fucking. I'm giving you a tip here, Bradley.
Yeah.
Anytime you move to another city, or you move to a city that another city calls San Fran for short, and they frown upon us calling it San Fran. You can go, hey, fuck you, San Fran, and fuck your Giants, your fucking San Francisco Giants,
Your 49ers.
Yes, San Francisco people
40 whiners.
Yeah, you're 40 whiners. Anybody that lives in a town that can't be, brevity down to fucking San Fran, they're like, oh no, please call it San Francisco, or
Frisco.
Frisco. Fuck San Francisco. I'm just saying, I'm not a fan. Sorry.
But listen, San Francisco, they think that they're the West Coast version of New York, uppity New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
They think they're West Coast version of Manhattan. That's
Okay.
what San Francisco is. They don't like us in L.A., and we don't give a fuck about them either.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that we don't like them. It's what you just said. We don't give a fuck.
We just don't give
Like,
a fuck. Because they feel
Up there, they do give a fuck. They don't like us.
Yeah, they don't
Why?
like it. They're uppity. They're just fucking uppity.
I mean, we got uppity people in Beverly Hills, but they know that
They stay there.
They know that they'll get checked once they cross La Cienega.
They stay there and they die in their home.
OC curtain, they don't come.
OC, when the high price people that live in OC, they know that once they cross that borderline, they'll get checked. So they will respect once they come to.
Yeah, can you imagine?
city.
Can you imagine if us people in San Francisco be like, "Hey, you guys going to L.A.? Oh, don't call it L.A. It's Los Angeles. It's Los Angeles. Hey, go fuck yourself, San Fran." All right,
Cisco.
all right, go ahead, Bradley.
All right.
I'm glad you
So
get
you're
the fuck
back in
out
the
of there.
cheese.
I'm glad you get the fuck out of there.
it just wasn't. It wasn't
Egos.
for me. It wasn't for me. So
Is he still up there?
which one?
The dude you switched spots with.
Jeff. No, Jeff.
Your
Jeff's here
cheese
in
twin.
LA.
Your cheese twin.
He's
Jeff
back
came
down
to
here
LA
now?
too.
All right.
I came back here, and I ended up. I was working for a cafe in Echo Park, and then I ended up randomly. I asked this girl out on a walking date, and
Walking Dead.
Gotta love the kids these days.
we walked, and she said yes. So we met at 9 a.m. We walked from Echo Park to UCLA.
Shut the front door.
Along, and then we hit like.
That's not a walking date. That's a marathon, dude. That's 26 miles.
Yeah, but it's kids at U.S. Forest Service.
Oh, yeah, so you walk forever.
Bradley's not afraid of a hike.
Yeah, and so we get to UCLA.
Through
and
Los
there was
It's
this-
not a walk. It's a fucking hike. Yeah.
Through Los
That wasn't a walk.
Angeles.
That's a hike.
It's a little bit of a hike.
Yeah.
So we go to this art exhibit at UCLA that I was like ultimately like the destination, right? But afterwards we went to in Westwood Village. We went to the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf or whatever. And I was having a cup of coffee.
Are you still walking?
No, we're just
Okay.
sitting at this point. Smoking a cigarette, and my phone rings, and I had previously sent this message to this woman because I was looking for a cheese gig, but I wanted to make sure it was good.
Who isn't looking for a cheese gig? Who isn't? That's what I'm finding out right now. Who's not trying to get in the cheese business?
So this guy that was involved in the wine industry that I had met was like,
Those
hey,
go good together.
You should you need to message the cheese impresario.
Impresario.
And I was like, yes, I do. So I messaged the cheese impresario, and so and I just said, hey, like my name, blah blah blah. So I get a call from her that day, and she's like, hi, what's going on? And I talked to her. She asked me my resume. I had kind of a little like back and forth, and then she was like, okay, perfect. Like, where are you? And I was like, I'm in Westwood Village.
Where are you? I gotta get to you.
And she was like, oh, this is perfect. Just go down the street to Wally's Wine and check out the place. Go in there incognito, like, don't say anything.
Don't tell them who you are. Don't talk. Don't tell me you've been talking to the cheese.
Pretend you know nothing about cheese.
Don't tell them any cheese shit. No cheese secrets. Go.
So my date's like, I gotta go. She jumps on a bus.
She's like, this
out
is
of
fucking weird.
We're fucking get the cheese.
Oh my god! All right, this is crazy.
So I walk down the block. I go in this place called Wally's Wine. I'm checking it out. I'm looking at the cheese case. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And then she sets up an interview with the owner. That's turns out Wally's Wine and Spirits is this 35-year-old business, one location, that early in the Napa wine country game, Wally's was one of the first places in LA where you could get actual California, like quality California wine. This guy
from Napa,
yeah. Sonoma, Santa Barbara County, all these areas.
Russian
River, yeah, Paso Robles.
Yep.
So this dude just got in it right as it was hitting, you know, and he gained all of these contacts with all the right people.
Ground floor, we call it.
Ground floor, baby. And then since then went international and has contacts throughout the Bordeaux wine country, Burgundy, Champagne,
right,
Spain, Italy, like all of these places. So he pretty much turned this little business in LA into this international conglomerate, right?
All right.
And so I end up working for him. So I show up for the interview and I walk in and I say, hey, like I'm here to see.
I'm here to be the cheese guy.
I'm here to see Steve Wallace, and they're like, the guy behind the camera was like, Steve Wallace, you know, like. I'm like, yeah, and they're like, are you sure?
Yeah, I'm fucking sure. Go back there and get fucking Steve.
I know the wheel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like really, I'm here to see Steve Wallace for an interview, right? And they're like,
I'm fucking Bradley.
Everybody's like kind of tripping out, and they're like, well,
this cannot be this guy.
We'll call, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
sit it. Please wait outside. Please.
Security.
So eventually somebody comes in. They're like, okay, well, turns out
you are
who you are.
Follow me. So I'm like, okay. We walk through the building. We go out the building, cross the parking lot to another building. We go in there, up these staircases, through this door to this other door, and then this woman's like, okay, he's out there, and I'm like, out where? You know? And like, they're like, no, just right outside. So like, I walk out this door onto the rooftop. There's like all these agave plants, this table, and there's these three dudes sitting at this table. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
It's a secret cheese meeting.
Yeah. So I walk up and I sit down and I get introduced, and it turns out Steve Wallace, his co-partner Christian Navarro, which is now still responsible for what's going on with Wally's, and Richard Drapkin, which is the
Drapkins,
which is like
everyone knows
food consultant,
right?
So, like, I'm talking. Oh no, it wasn't. It was John
royalty.
Stevens, the general manager. It wasn't Richard Drapkin. But anyway, I'm talking to these guys, and
were you dressed like this a little bit?
I kind of like. I had a funky style, but I kept it like casual business. You know, like,
cash business.
But also like clean cut, little boy haircut.
Okay.
Like, you know.
Yeah, you've been growing that for a minute now.
Yes. Yeah. So I go in. Every other sentence out of my mouth, Steve Wallace. But he worked for the Cowgirls. Like, he couldn't stop talking about Cowgirl Creamery. So that's how important that was on my resume, right?
Right. Okay, so it ended up working out. I mean,
so
he hired
me in. And then I found out later I was one of two people that he personally hired in. Everybody else just like,
wow. So, I mean, then backtrack all the way back to the co-op in Idaho,
okay.
right? I mean, that's what this, I mean, right? I mean,
right.
This is all kind of funneled right into like, to the head of the cheese department here at this interview.
Yeah.
And all your past experiences, it's all coming right here to a head.
Yeah.
And you're throwing it all out there.
Yeah.
The cheese head.
They're just like, get him in here, and so they did. And at the time I was working for the cafe, and I was working for them part-time, because what they were doing was they were moving the cheese cases from the wine store into another little building that used to be called the Cigar Box in the 90s. When their cigar phase existed.
Right.
And so they moved it in there and they called it the cheese box. Pretty original. But I got hired to help move it over with Jenny Knotts, who then became what I think of as one of my mentors, pretty much.
Jenny Knotts.
Jenny Knotts, a very important woman for me. And so I moved in there. And
Does she know how you feel about her?
Definitely, yeah.
Is she dateable?
Is she strike three?
Well, she's married. She's been married to her partner her female partner for.
Right. That means you got some work cut. You got your work cut out for you.
Years maybe now.
Yeah,
they got 2 little kids. They're doing good. They have a house in Santa Monica, but nonetheless, I was there for 5 years, and they have a tent sale twice a year. Beyond that, I was just able to taste all the wines, right? Yep. I got to taste Louis Trey 2 times a year. They would come in, that cognac that costs $1,300. Yeah. Yep. I got to taste all these things. I got a wine education as well as upping my cheese game. So now I'm kind of stacking my skills.
Right.
So
shuffling the deck, putting them all together. Yeah,
That's right. I mean, because they all make sense to each other.
Sure, absolutely right.
I was with them for about 5 years. Then they got bought out. 3.5 years into my 5-year stint, they got bought out. The owner, Steve Walls, just had enough.
Right.
After 35 years owning the business, he was done. I'm retiring. He sells it to the Guess Jeans brothers, the Marciano brothers.
Guess Jeans brothers. Come on.
The Marciano brothers buy it up. So immediately what they do is they corporatize everything. And like at that point it just like everything started feeling dead to me as far as the business end goes, you know?
Cheese Game went corporate.
Cheese Game went corporate. They started a Beverly Hills location. They put a Beverly Hills location in. And so at that point I was pretty much like on the fence. I told
right.
Jenny,
because you're not getting anybody when the Cheese Game goes to Beverly Hills, right? Then you're just getting then you're kind of like keeping it all insular. You're not getting all different walks of life, right?
No.
Right? You following me on
Yeah,
that?
I follow you.
And that's, you were bummed about that, yeah?
I was bummed about that. Yeah, but I was also almost pretty much done with the company. And so I told Jenny, listen, I'm out, and she talked to me. She said, like
the cheese will not stand. This will not stand.
At this point, I'm like the face of the cheese department, like me and Jenny, but like
this face
right here, like, it's like people know me. I watched kids grow up. I saw like pregnant women like have a child and then seeing them
bring
like
them
come
into the
to, like,
cheese counter.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And go, I need a quarter of that wheel.
Yeah, it's like I have like friends that have been customers for 3 years. It's like 4 years. It's like you have like you build relationships with these people,
right?
Your clients, and
right.
So, and you know them, so they walk in the door and you're like, oh, I just got ding ding ding, all your favorites right here,
Yeah, you know what they want, you got it ready. Yeah,
exactly.
I feel you.
And so Jenny,
you know what time they're coming.
It's like it's like a butcher. Like a butcher knows. Yeah, it's like a butcher knows the cuts of meat you like.
Exactly.
All that shit, right, Bradley? You feeling? Am I feeling this?
You're absolutely correct.
Am I on?
Absolutely
right.
correct. It's
my
it's
cheese game. I'm elevating my cheese game.
Similar niche profession,
Yeah.
So Jenny and Christian Navarro both pretty much give me like a sit down, and they're like, we would really appreciate to have you come to the Beverly Hills location to start it off, so that like when we have old clients that come in, they feel comfortable. They see you and they'll feel comfortable in the space because you have been around. They've seen you,
Mm-hmm.
And that made sense to me. So I said, you know what? It won't hurt.
I'll give it a shot.
It won't hurt. So I did that, and
did it hurt?
I mean, it just a number of things in my life coalesced, and I had a third life crisis meltdown.
Ooh, the third one, the third meltdown. Here we go. Here we go.
What was her name?
Like a
Here we go.
Life crisis,
Here
like
we go.
a third life crisis, right? So I had this meltdown. I quit Wally's. I decided to ride my bike up the coast and over to Idaho to my sister.
Bradley likes
Full
get on
circle.
That. Bradley
Full
likes
circle,
get on
but
that
went
bike and
back.
clearing his mind, don't you?
It didn't happen. What happened was my sister went through a gnarly divorce.
Yeah.
My parents essentially were like, we don't have time to help out. You're not doing anything. You're doing it. I said, okay. What else do you do at that point?
Okay, sis, I'm here.
Yeah, so
I
went to help my sister out in Idaho. We were driving back because my grandmother's health was failing. My grandmother passes away.
Oh.
So it's just like knock, 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 as is.
Yeah.
And so then I went back to Idaho and hung out with my sister. My friend's an organic garlic farmer. I like pulled garlic like all summer for him and like
trying to smoke weed and not losing your high.
Smoked some weed, drank some like Idaho draft beer,
Yeah.
Hung
craft
out.
beers, Idaho craft beers, everybody.
And then ended up, and then when I came back to LA, I was like, Wally's was like, okay, like we want you back, but I was, it wasn't gonna work out, and I kind of floated around, and then I was just like, screw it. I booked a flight, and went to London, Paris, Iceland, New York. Just like
You're making enough scratch in the cheese game to just go. I mean.
Well, no, it was more that I was unemployed all summer, unemployed on the books, but I was like working. I was doing side jobs, and I was just saving up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I like did it with no money. I looked like Allen Ginsberg, like on like some fucking voyage quest, like Jim Morrison, Allen Ginsberg voyage quest. I would like hit on girls in London, and they would just be like, I could see like their like off switch, off button.
Going,
I would be like,
nope.
Like,
They don't care how much knowledge you have of cheese and wine.
I remember there was I shaved my face the last night I was in town in London before I left, and I remember there was specifically this one girl that I was like trying to make the moves on a lot. Like she like kept just double taking at me all night. Like, and by that point I was like into it. Like by that point I was just drunk as shit, and I was just like, well, even if you want it at this point, like it's not fucking happening.
I got cheese dick now. Okay, I got a cheese dick now. All right.
Okay, so when I was in Iceland, I was checking Craigslist for ads. I knew I was gonna have the job, so I got a hold of this dude. I did a FaceTime interview, and had a job waiting for me when I came back. So I came back. I started working at the Wheelhouse Cheese on the west side.
Okay, so are we current right now?
So not yet. So then I worked at Wheelhouse Cheese for a year, put my all into it, and then around December this last December I decided, okay, like I need to make a move. So I was looking at DTLA Cheese right over here at Grand Central Market.
Dude, who knew there was so many cheese outfits here in Los Angeles? No, I mean he did. I mean, yeah. Bradley did.
Okay, so I go over to DTLA Cheese because the Clark sisters, they're like just angels in the industry, right? So I went to this cheese seminar that had come through town, and the Clark sisters, Clark sisters got up and started talking about cheese, and Lydia Clark, who runs this counter over here, she got like literally 1 minute in and started breaking down crying because she was so passionate about the cheese, like literally crying, can't talk about it anymore.
Oh my God.
So I'm just like, I'm like,
we're gonna
damn,
have to go
like,
to one of these.
Yes,
I'm like, damn, like I need to work for that woman. Like that's what I need to work.
That's
like,
what you're looking for, the passion.
Yeah,
that's passion.
So I go and I approach her, and I'm like, when do I start working? You know? and she's just like, yeah, like what, you know?
Does she know
now,
who you
like,
are? Does she know who you are?
Is
your name
Is your name out there?
That's what I'm saying. Are you floated out there? I mean, do people kind of? I mean, like I said,
Does your name create buzz in the cheese world?
Well, okay. So one thing I skipped over when I was at Wally's Wine, I was nominated and won a Zagat 30 Under 30 Professional Award, which is they choose 30 people in San Francisco.
Wait, did you say Zagat?
Yes.
You mean
Zagat?
Zagat?
Yeah.
All right.
Zagat.
I think that's from your fucking San Francisco days right there. The Zagat. Get the fuck out of here, Bradley.
It's a croissant. It's not a.
Get the fuck out of here.
But they'll choose 30 professionals under 30 years old in New York, San Francisco, and LA. And I was nominated and then was given the award. I was the only cheesemonger in all cities.
All City Cheesemonger.
So
I need
it was
a
like
T-shirt that says All City
Fuck a city, man.
Oh, but a guy holding around a piece of cheese.
Yeah.
You need a
How much of the wheel you want cut out?
Okay, so come December, I'm like, I'm gonna bail. I told them, Jenny Knotts is like, hey, can you work some hours for Christmas? I was like, hell yes, let's just combine all this shit. I fucking worked at 3 cheese shops for 26 days in December in a row. Just fucking charged it. I would open up the Wheelhouse. I'd ride my bike to Wally's, close Wally's. Next day I'd be at DTLA Cheese, and I was just like, dun everywhere.
Cheese life, cheese life.
Yeah.
So you say you work 26 days. So that means you work from December 1st to Christmas.
Damn near. I guess I got 1 day off because of baby Jesus. But even that day, I had to drive up to Carpinteria to visit family and back, you know, so I kind of was working.
Cheese life, dude. It don't
Cheese
stop.
life. Cheese life hard, right?
Hey, Cheese Life give you a car, or are you still on that bike?
So, no, I do. I have my grandma. My grandma passed away. I have her Honda Corolla. It was like
Honda Corolla?
kind of like dropped. Or, what is it?
Toyota Corolla or Honda Accord?
Honda Corolla,
I like the Honda Corolla. I thought he took 2 cars and put it together. I thought Grandma put it together.
with cheese wheels.
So I worked at all these places, end up at DTLA Cheese, killing life, killing the game, and yeah, you know. It's
Is that where you're at now?
That's where I'm at now, 4 days a week.
Okay, hey, Bradley.
I like cheese.
Did
I
you
need to
bring
go.
cheese?
I brought,
of course,
sick-ass cheese.
All right, let's get the
How do you
cheese.
know I would not let
No, that's what I'm saying. Let's get to the fucking
Let's
cheese.
get to the fucking cheese.
I brought some sick-ass cheese.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. Dude, Pookie, this is fucking crazy. This motherfucker is crazy. Look, I would say we have a lot of good interviews here. I have a lot of good, important interviews. But I gotta say, Bradley,
Move your glasses, Todd.
Oh shit!
You're fucking. You are something else, my man.
All right.
The cheese game.
All right, so you can use crackers or bread, whatever you want to do here.
All right.
We can do whatever. I could round robin it, or you could just start eating and ask me questions.
Right. I think that's the best way. Let's dip in.
Well, we also have a guest. You're from Germany, so tell us, do you eat a lot of cheese?
Don't let her talk.
Yes.
Hold on. Can't hear us.
Are you a friend of cheese? Are you a friend of
there's a stranger who just walked in, and I was going to ask who knows the stranger. So
The only one.
Hi.
That
Thank
one.
you for having me.
That's the last one.
Don't eat that one until last.
That's the last one. Yeah.
Come on over.
All right.
Come on over. So Todd, I want you to introduce Sophia. Sophia
Hi, Sophia.
has
Pleasure
only
to
been
meet
here for a
you.
little
How are you
while.
doing?
She's from Germany.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is all. So, do you eat a lot of cheese in Germany?
Oh, thank you very much.
What can you tell us about cheese in Germany?
Cheese? Yeah, I really love cheese. We do have a lot of cheese. There's lots of cheese in the Alps.
Yeah,
In Switzerland, we get a lot of Swiss cheese or French cheese.
Bradley, you been in Germany?
Not yet.
No, you didn't.
He said not yet.
Well, no, but on your spin around.
No, I didn't.
So
I didn't
when
go. I mean, Berlin is like literally whispering at me 24 hours a day, 365 days
I got a
a
funny
year,
story
but,
about
like,
Berlin.
Surprise, surprise.
I know, right? Like,
It whispers to everybody. you know what I mean?
Berlin's
Yeah,
a very
I know.
nice city. I saw the
Have you-
Glockenspiel.
Have you been?
Oh yeah. My first time in Germany was I was just coming from Amsterdam, and I had a bunch of weed on me that I was taking into Germany, but I had never been to Germany before. I'd never been to. It was my first time in Europe, so we were on the train and we're overhearing people that are talking, other backpackers and you know American people, and they keep talking about there's dogs and police when you get out of the trains, and they're ready for kids coming out of Amsterdam with drugs.
Right.
And so now I didn't tell the person I was with
That
I bought drugs and I was taking them to Germany and for the rest of our trip. I didn't say nothing. I just bought it and hid it.
Yeah.
So now, but I overhear these people talking about all the drugs and the dogs, and I'm like, oh my God! It's a day and a half, of train ride, through the night, and I am up at night. And I wait till my partner goes to sleep, and I'm fucking sitting there going, fuck, what am I gonna do? There's all these dogs, because I used to have all these, you have Germany in your mind. You're just like, Hitler's coming for me,
The Red Skull.
No, yeah,
Hitler's coming.
No, I'm just saying. This is the 90s. It's the 90s. I know it's a very
But that was
shitty.
back in the 40s.
I know it's a very shitty.
Long
It's a
time.
Shitty thing to
analogy.
say.
No, we gotta get back to that.
but-
He's American. That's how
yeah.
Americans
Oh,
think.
you think that's an excuse?
So I stay up all night. And I start stuffing the weed into
Were you high
into my
at that
liner in my jacket, right? And I think
okay.
that's the best place to hide it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't sleep.
In
all
your
night.
jacket pocket?
In my jacket. No, in the jacket liner. I
you
cut
cut
a
it
little
open
hole
and
and put it in the
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
down there. So I'm up all night. Don't sleep. We get to fucking Germany. I'm like, okay, here we go. Get out the train. Train pulls right into the station, and they open the fucking doors, and they just let you off into the city. No fucking
Nothing.
dogs. No nothing. And I get out. I'm walking around. I'm fucking over my neck, on my shoulder, going, fuck, this was easy. And I love Germany. Best breakfast I ever had in my life is in Germany.
Yeah. So when in Germany did you say?
I don't know. I was in hostels. I don't know. It was 1995. So it was a long time ago.
Did you only stay in West Germany or did you go to East Germany?
No. I just stayed in West Germany, and then like I said, I went to a space museum. There was a space museum on the eastern part of town. It's a long time ago, but I remember the Glockenspiel. I talked to a UPS driver.
Oh, you only stayed in Berlin.
Only stayed in Berlin. But I went to
you
Austria. I said, I went to Austria, Berlin.
They have cheese.
They have good cheese
That's
in
the
Austria.
Alps,
Yeah.
yes.
And good pretzels, all kinds of good
tell us,
stuff.
where do we start with?
Yeah, so what do we start with here?
So take us a tour the cheese.
Okay, so
Are they all cheese? I'm going to eat it.
yeah, there you go.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's the way to do it right there. Okay,
these
so
little pieces of bread.
so yeah, these are gluten-free crackers.
Gluten-free.
And then we have bread. The one that Todd just snacked is called Paški sir. It's a Croatian sheep's milk cheese. It comes from this little island called Island of Pog. The Croatians are extremely
Sit down,
proud
Bradley.
of it.
Sit down.
It's hard. It's hard.
All right, go ahead.
Which one's this?
See it. That one. Okay, wait. That's the last. That's the last one. Save that for last. Save it for last.
She has a question for you.
Okay, may I ask? I happen to be vegetarian. What kind of rennet? are
Very
you
good question.
Very
Let's
good question.
see. If I.
I know of 3 types of rennet, and 2 of them I can eat, and the third one I can't.
I would say that of all of those cheeses, maybe the goat cheese is vegetarian rennet, but I'd have to look.
What
it
I
up.
just had.
You want me to look it up?
I had that center one with Which one's that?
What is this in the center?
The center one is Saint Angel
Staying in jail?
from
Francisco.
Paris, France.
Paris.
That's a triple cream brie, cow's
What are
milk
these?
cheese. Those are Marcona almonds.
Almond, okay. Wow, those are tasty too.
Those are badass with a little oil and salt on them.
Yeah.
So this is what cheese again?
So that's called Saint Angel. Saint Angel. I don't know.
Oh, it's so
Just
bougie.
say it.
I don't know. That's
So,
French.
Pookie,
It's
where
French.
did you meet Germany at?
Saint Angel.
You want to tell us where you met Germany?
Or you can say like
Or
an
not.
Idahoan, like Saint Angel.
I do. I met Sophia. Sophia would always be at all the clubs, and we just
Talking to the microphone.
Sophia would be at all the clubs, and we just caught eye contact, and we just finally started talking. You know, I just finally used my Kpook charm and started talking to her, and then we became good friends. And then she told me her story about her coming down to America and
that is
loving
good.
hip hop, and there it is. And she's a socialite for sure.
Yeah.
Every time I see her, she's on her phone. She's
Instagram,
Oh, you guys are perfect
blowing
for each
things
other.
up.
Sounds like you.
everything.
Say again, please. What's it?
And she drives. She rides horses.
Not in Los Angeles?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? Where do you find horses in Los Angeles to ride?
Right by
The Hollywood sign.
Well, yeah, Griffith Park has it, and then like
yeah.
There's
no,
that
it's
Sunset
like
Ranch.
Chatsworth
Is it called Sunset Ranch?
They have a big horse industry actually in Southern California, but there's this like little private barn in Atwater Village.
Atwater, okay.
Yeah, you know by when you go past Los Feliz by the 5 freeways next to the park, there's like this little barn in the middle of the city.
I see some of her Instagram. The horses love her. They give her kisses. And
Oh,
stuff
yeah?
like that. The horses love
A
her.
horse tried to kill me in Mexico once.
What'd you do?
I just rode it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
It must have knew you.
how?
It turned and walked straight into the ocean while I was on it.
What do you mean? It was
Well,
straight-
it's a long story, but I was on a tour. You know, people they put you on horses. You know, they paint donkeys like zebras in Mexico. Do you know that up?
yeah.
Okay. Well, they do that. They do a lot of weird things to animals in Mexico. But yeah, I was on it, and it turned. I was riding it on the beach, and it turned straight, walked right into the ocean. Wave knocked me off, and I got back to the beach, and I never saw the horse again.
Whoa, what?
Horse
Okay.
committed suicide.
What is that right there?
Serious?
one is,
I didn't know that
But
story.
Hold on, right there, because horses don't understand depth. They
Yeah,
don't,
no, right.
They don't understand that, like a paddle.
And I
from
think he
a-
just proved
from
that right
a,
now.
Ocean. No, normally a horse doesn't go through water because they don't know how deep.
Right.
It is.
Well, I think this horse
So
was done.
if
I
a
think,
horse goes with you through water, then that's a sign of trust because they know that.
no.
you're-
I think the horse wanted me off him, and the horse was killing him.
That was
What
the
did you
best
do?
way.
And the horse was deciding to kill itself that day. It was done giving tours and giving rides for kids, and it turned and walked me right into the ocean. I fell off, made it back to shore, and the horse never came out of the water. So
That's really heartbreaking.
yeah, beat that one, Bradley.
I don't know if I'm gonna.
I've never seen brown cheese.
Hey, this has truffles in it right here.
Yeah,
Right.
so that one's a sheep's milk with truffle. I looked up this. Actually, the cheese on the far left there is called Sophia.
Here's one right there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, so, yeah.
but it is traditional rennet.
Okay.
I looked
That's
it
a
up.
shame.
Traditional rennet. So rennet is the inner stomach lining of a small calf, a young calf.
That's not vegan.
It's not vegan. It is
Not even
actually not
vegetarian.
vegetarian.
No,
Yeah,
that's
so a
why.
lot of cheese is not vegetarian, which is something that a lot of vegetarians have a very hard time with once they find out. Like, and cheese is a great source of protein for vegetarians, and it's unfortunate. However, they make
And it's not stated
microbial.
on all the cheeses either.
You know, you have to research it yourself.
Yeah,
You have to
Trader
know.
Joe's is pretty good about it. Or
It's,
Whole
Yeah.
Foods, but-
it's poorly. Why is it so poorly labeled?
It's not so much that it's poorly labeled as much as
You don't
it's
have
like
to.
you don't have to. It's like
Yeah.
wine, where like there's specific, like in Italy, like if for a region, you know, like they don't have to list the grapes. You just have to know that in that region, if it says the name of the region, in that region they grow Sangiovese.
Right.
So you're like, oh well, I know because I've done the research that in this region they have to use 99% Sangiovese grape, and then they can use 1% whatever else to blend, you know?
Right.
But so you're like, okay, so I'm drinking Sangiovese. I know I am because it's coming from this region, right?
Gotcha.
So like it's
But
kind of similar to
like I
that.
said, it can be a little vague, and
Because they don't have
it's
to.
like with
Yeah.
the statement when something is labeled as organic, it actually means
Yeah.
it's only up like 95% organically produced. There's 5% that can
Don't
be
say whatever the hell
Yeah.
it is, Bradley.
something
What's
else.
the copper block?
Okay, so that's
That's
membrillo, which is made from quince. It's a fruit paste. So the fruit paste is good because your tongue has all of these taste buds.
Right.
And all your taste buds taste all of these things simultaneously. And so when you put something in your mouth, you taste it one way, right? But then when you put like a sweet taste in with that same savory taste, now you're tasting that savory taste a different way. So it's almost like kind of like a choose your own adventure where you're like, okay, well, I'll just try these two things at the same time. Now you're pairing.
Right.
And that's what pairing gets really fun and actually really exciting. And that's where like I almost brought out a nice bottle of wine and a beer. I really fucked up.
No, Bradley, you didn't fuck up. We're all good here.
Okay,
We're
nice.
all good
Okay.
here.
I mean, Tecate does just fine as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Take out it as fun with everything.
This truffle cheese.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I'm really digging the truffle cheese. Now this brown cheese right here is about to be the
Okay, the brown cheese is called Gjetost. Gjetost is from Norway, and it is a cheese where they take the whey, which is the whey, WHEY, which is the water that comes off of the cheese as they cut the curd.
Ooh, that's some good pickle.
Which one?
This one.
Okay, so those are house made at DTLA Cheese.
So I can find those down the street?
They're called Reed's Pickles. You
Sweet.
can come buy those down the street. Yeah.
Oh, I love that cheese.
Oh, wait.
This is great cheese right here.
You like the brown cheese?
Yeah.
You like the brown cheese? I can't do it. I'm scared.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
scared.
So
I love cheese, but I'm scared. But
Hey,
that
listen.
hey, that's really good. That,
So they
like this
put the milk in the vat. They add the cultures and the rennet and whatever else they're gonna do. Then the milk then starts, the protein chains start combining. So now it starts solidifying. So then after it starts solidifying at a certain point, they take these like big knife kind of like blades, and they cut everything down the middle and they chop it up depending on what style of cheese they're gonna make, right? So like for like a brie or a camembert, they'll cut it very large. The curds will be large, and they'll scoop out these large curds and put them in the molds. For cheddar, there's a process called cheddaring. So they'll cut it like a million times and then stack it again, let it drain, cut it a million times and stack it again. But
What does that do to it?
But when they cut the cheese, it releases moisture. It releases whey, so it releases the actual lactose is milk sugar. So it releases the actual water out of it. So it retains moisture or not. Which one? The crystals. The crystal is honeycomb, which is from Temecula.
Bring that over.
And you can totally eat you can eat the honeycomb. The honeycomb is not vegan, but it is vegetarian.
But wait, it's not vegan.
It's not vegan to some because the bees are making it's like bees are slaves according to some vegan mentality or the way that some people vegan like thought. It's like if you're eating honeycomb, we're enslaving the bees. Yeah.
To produce honey for us humans?
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, I mean, and
Which
you
one was
try the
it?
brown cheese? Or
the
no?
brown cheese. Let me look it up. I think
We want to make sure you eat the brown
How come you don't
cheese.
have a big how come you don't get a phone like a phone saver like a big cheese like?
I'm just like, oh, vegetarian. Oh, why do I have it?
No, you should have a big cheese like a big slice
Oh, a
of
big
cheese.
wedge. Yeah, I should.
Hey, we gotta
That is French salted butter. So that French salted butter from farms around Normandy, France, salted. There's this affineur, which is a French profession of somebody that goes around to certain different farms, finds young cheeses that they love, snatches them, takes them back to their own caves, and then ages them out to their specifications.
God damn.
I like this guy.
And that's like,
We gotta go with cheese. Hey, we gotta go across the world
okay,
with cheese.
that is sour
Cheesin'.
cherry jam
Sour cherry jam.
from
Cheesin'.
Spain, I believe.
Where's Todd and Pook?
I
Oh, they
think
got
so,
cheese
yeah.
in.
We're out cheese.
You were saving this best one for last?
Okay, the best one for last is, check it, Wisconsin cow's milk 15-year aged cheddar.
All right. All right, let's block that
Yeah.
up. Let's block that. Cut that up.
So just take, really, you just need a little morsel, like, or just go big.
Go big.
Yeah.
This is good. Just like that.
Yeah. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Would you agree to the statement, the stronger it smells, the better it
He fucking
tastes?
said his cheese.
That is
That
good.
is fucking
Oh
tasty,
my
Bradley.
That is good.
It aged for 15 years, so it's like.
This shit is.
I mean,
Wow, that is
Sophia,
really good.
yes, why not? I mean, I
Listen.
love a poisse and like a poisse.
Bradley.
Like, yeah, that's
Thank
what
you.
they, like back home they always say, like the stronger the cheese smells, the better it tastes.
Yeah,
Like,
it
the
can
stronger
go all
flavor
over the
it is.
place. It's like it depends on people's palate. Palates are very finicky things sometimes.
You know what? I had a fucked up palate, but when I went to jail and I couldn't use it as much, and now that I'm out, my palate is incredible.
Well, you got older.
And I
It does
love
change.
Like I
You
I
eat,
can
you
taste
eating
beer.
blah. You
I
eating
love
just blah,
everything.
blah, blah. What was
tell
the
you
best
this.
thing you had in prison?
Brad, let me tell you this.
It's all processed,
I am a
it's all
huge
processed
fan
food.
of blue cheese.
very processed.
I like the blue cheese. I like crumbled
Damn,
blue cheese.
I didn't bring blue cheese.
That's all right. That's all right. What I'm saying is, I like blue cheese dressing. I like crumbled blue cheese on my steak. I like blue cheese on my hamburger. Blue cheese is fucking good,
It's good.
right? I mean, done
Yes.
right, good stuff. I mean, blue cheese is like
It's-
that really stinky, fucking
Yeah.
really fermented, good stuff.
The Yay Toast is a vegetarian rennet.
There you go.
Yeah,
Which one?
the
Which one?
caramel looking one.
The brown one.
The brown
Yeah,
one.
the brown
Oh,
one.
the good
My
one.
Yeah.
favorite.
All right, it's your favorite, and I
My
have to
favorite-
try
what
it.
is my
And
favorite?
that's
get a
uh,
cracker. Get a cracker.
Thank
and-
you so much.
Cracker bread.
the milk
whatever.
type can be cow or goat, and it's like I said, it's whey and skim milk added into whey. And Norway's very proud of that cheese, just like Croatia is very proud of Pashkisir. It's
Right.
like I brought two of those cheeses because there's like those are like cheeses. I don't know another cheese from Croatia. I don't know another cheese from Norway, even though they're more than likely are. But you know, it's like.
Go with what you know.
Like when I was working at Wheelhouse Cheese, this monger was hired in, and I've forgotten her name now, but she was from Croatia, and I was talking to her. I'm like, "Where are you from?" She's like, "Oh, I'm from Croatia," and I was like, "Oh, you know Pashkisir?" She's like, you know,
Duh.
and then she like told me
Duh.
this whole story about her grandpa used to sell like a counterfeit Pashkisir, and like just like this whole thing, and I was just like, "Whoa, like Pashkisir is like."
Who knew?
Like important.
Who knew?
So I'm like, okay, well, what's the Alan Pog like? And she's like, well, you know, my family, we have me and my husband, we have a house on the island next to Pog, and you'll come there.
And you will come there. And you will monger.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you?
I didn't know, not yet, but I mean, life's full of opportunities, right? What else is on here that I didn't?
What about this guy? What's
Okay,
that
we
guy?
gotta go with this.
That's the Sophia.
What's this custard right here?
That's French salted butter.
That's
from
good. That
Affinor.
tastes good on the cracker. That tastes good on the
It's
cracker.
You actually mix it
Or
with
throw it on the
the
bread.
cheeses. If you mix it with that truffle cheese, and see
Okay.
what happens.
Mix
Yeah.
and match.
Oh yeah, here we go.
And that's like the
Come on, you can
world
have
of
some more.
pairing.
Do you like,
You know?
do you like the brown cheese? The brown cheese.
Help yourself,
God.
Sophia. Help
See,
yourself.
All right, so Chef AJ, if you're listening,
How?
I think you just got replaced
Cheese.
by
Yeah.
cheese.
We
See,
got
So
like
do you have more cheese? If you have more cheese, you can come bring to us.
Yeah, big time. I got cheeses for days.
I got
And
cheese
also-
for days.
Also, you know, it's like cheeses are seasonal, so it's like cheeses come out. Like we're about to start seeing some of my favorite cheeses coming out during the holidays.
You know what,
Like,
Bradley? What is your favorite cheese? If you had to nail
my
down to
number
one.
one cheese of all time, Parmigiano Reggiano, like light years ahead of all other cheeses. It's not even fair. It's like not even fair to all the other cheeses, you know? Like, and then so like beyond that, if you're like come back to earth, like what's my favorite like earthly cheese?
Yeah, earthly cheese.
Would be like the family of cheeses from the Southern Pyrenees in France that's called Osso Arati.
Have you tried Comté?
Oh, Comte is
That's
up
my
on
favorite.
the list. King, ancient recipe. And then, you know,
Wow.
the thing about these cheeses and these products and like selling them and so on Is it like these are like my family, my friends? Like I like go to work and I'm like, how you been? I'm like hug them. I'm like pet them. I'm just like, hey, buddy.
So when somebody says they like the nacho cheese from Taco Bell, you get mad?
Get the fuck out of here.
Well, no, you know that's funny because every now and again I'll be like super drunk late night, you know, like whatever. I go into 7-Eleven, I buy a bag of fucking Doritos
and throw on that nacho cheese.
And
Yeah,
like just fucking like
grab that heartburn.
You know, like the nacho cheese.
I've been there
gwing,
before.
Gwing, 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 gwing. It's like goo, goo. Pumping full of like that fake ass goo.
Right.
The chili. You know, go outside like.
None of that's really cheese, though, is it?
No, it's not. It's
right.
no, it's processed cheese. They still call it cheese, but it's
the bottom
followed
of the
by
bottom of the
process.
right.
Yeah.
As a true cheesemonger,
Yeah.
that is real cheese.
Well, as a true cheesemonger, no. But as a
Goddamn American,
as a bohemian freak, weirdo,
Taco Bell
romantic
nacho cheese
poet,
is great.
You know, like absorber of life. You know, like whatever you want. You know, it's like go for it. As long as you're doing it, as long as you're not doing something blindly, like I could probably get behind it.
This has made my palate so fucking happy today. Yeah, because I would never really try any. Well, first of all, I wouldn't have the money to try all this food cheese.
You try those walnuts?
Number two,
Yeah.
this is like incredible. Like I'm gonna be called. You're gonna be hearing from me. Yo, man, I need some fucking cheese.
Hey man, we're gonna be doing live shows on Thursdays.
Good.
No, seriously, no Kpook gonna be like fucking we're jonesing for cheese now.
Yo, Brad.
Sorry, guys.
Instead of Kpook asking, call me, he's like, hey man, you want to get some weed? Like, no, let's go get some fucking cheese.
Let's go get some cheese.
Just go buy a fucking quarter.
Yeah, because Pookie can eat cheese. Pookie can eat cheese.
Oh my God, this is
Cool. I'm really.
This is my new thing.
This is my new thing. It's your new vice.
I love fucking cheese.
You know.
Well, hey, don't. Be careful.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't get clogged up, but this is great.
Well, you know, okay. So cheese, scientifically.
I love this part. And we're getting educated.
Cheese ignites the same receptors that MDMA and various drugs do as well. So you do get euphoric and high when you eat cheese. Yes. It incites a specific feeling. You know, so like cheese is hard drugs. Like,
Shut up. Just stop.
Right, yeah.
Although, look at the smiles on everybody's face right here.
That's
Everybody has a smile on their
it's like
face.
That's right.
It's like an orgasm in your
Yeah.
mouth.
You can buy it in weight. He sells it. He sells it in weight.
Look, cheese is a Schedule 1 narcotic, okay?
Don't tell the FDA.
Hey, Pook. You should leave. You should leave. You can't be here with this.
Right, man.
You're still on parole.
You're like, hey, what's wrong with you? I ate cheese, man. I wasn't smoking shit.
I'm all cheesed up.
Yeah,
It's good stuff, Bradley.
It's funny because earlier Pook texted me and he was like, "Yeah, man, like you got your music, you got your beats," and I was just like, "No, dude, I just got the cheese." Because I do make music, I do rap, I am a musician, but I've just been busy. I've been busy.
Wait. Did you say rap?
But I've been busy.
I want to hear
But
that.
I've been busy.
cheesing.
Trust, hey Bradley, you're coming back to the show. We will get into all the things that Bradley
All
does.
right, I dig that.
We want more cheese.
Well, Bradley's Corner.
Bradley's coming just to bring us new.
Hey, do Bradley's Corner.
Bring us cheese.
Every
Bradley's
week.
Corner.
Well,
bring
I
a
really appreciate
new
you
thing of
having
cheese.
me out here, and I appreciate you
thank you
appreciating
for coming.
the cheese.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
And also, I can, you know, if you have me again in the future, I can bring like dedicated pairings, like a specific wine and like a couple cheeses and like
a tasting like.
yeah, I can, because not only am I a cheesemonger, now I'm a craft beer bartender, and I'm also I also
It is my friend Todd. Todd, meet Bradley.
I work one night a week at Southland Beer in K-Town, and then I'm possibly going to start. I work with food at Bar Bandini in Echo Park 2 nights a week. I just work with food, but they have sick-ass natural wine list and a really nice craft beer list as well.
Where in Echo
So
Park?
that place is right across from like Mohawk Bend.
No.
Like,
I'm
right
good.
down
Is
from
it new?
the fireplace.
That's my area.
Yeah.
Is it new?
No, I can't.
2 years old.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, like we were talking about earlier, everything's stacked, you know. So like I'm really like sucking everything in, like learning how to integrate all of the everythings, and that's how I even got the job at Southland Beer. Was I kept going in there and being like, dude, you should do a raclette night. Raclette is this cheese that is like has a really
and they look at you, they're like,
point.
What?
And you put it under a heat lamp, and it heats up really fast, and then you just scrape it off onto like goo, like melted goo onto a plate of boiled ham, boiled potatoes, cornichon.
And they do that at the Southland Beer?
No, I'm trying.
You're trying to get that to happen?
Well, that's the thing is the machine costs about $300 to buy, the heat lamp, right?
Right.
But nonetheless, like I bugged him enough, and finally he was, because he's into cheese. He has a cheese plate, you know. He likes cheese, the owner. And like finally he was just like, dude, like we can't do the raclette night, but can you just like, will you work one night, like, you know? And I was like, yes, like, I will.
No, you know what? Wait, Bradley. When you say people are in the cheese, you're like, you're not in the fucking cheese.
You're not in the cheese.
I'm in the cheese. You know, I kind of see you like cheese, but I'm in the cheese.
That's a literal cheesehead.
Yeah, Brad. Yeah, you are straight up cheesehead. Fucking Bradley, you
We've met a real cheesehead in California.
Yeah, you fucking you blew doors tonight, dude. I appreciate
Pookie
you
can't
coming
stop.
in, dude.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Pookie
that.
can't stop.
It's so much, my palate.
No, I'm telling you, we're gonna have you back to do fucking harmonica night. Harmonica night.
Yeah. That's right.
And we're gonna
Harmonica wine and cheese.
Yeah, harmonica wine and cheese.
Harmonica wine and cheese. That sounds like a ride.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Catalina, what is it? The Catalina wine mixer.
Well, I mean, I'd be honored to come back. This has
Harmonica
been
wine
really
and
fun.
cheese.
You like it? Okay, I'm glad you came.
I appreciate you just having the patience to listen to my cheese journey.
No.
It's long.
Listen. I don't know. I'll listen. All 10 of our viewers, listen. One of them is gonna be their mind blown when they see this. When they see this episode, one of them's gonna get their mind blown, going, "I know what this dude's talking about."
I've been there.
Yeah. No.
So Bradley, this we're gonna come to a closing, but is there anything else you want to say before we close up?
Yeah, like your handles or where they can reach you. You know.
Because look, man, you're something. Somebody's gonna want to know something about cheese, and they're gonna be afraid to ask. But now they can ask you because you're gonna tell them the truth.
Big time. Okay, well,
lay out your handles. Where they can where can people reach out and get you?
DTLA Cheese. I'm there Saturday through Monday at the Grand Central Market. I'm at Southland Beer on Tuesday nights, serving craft beer. We do some cheese work there as well. Again, I'm at Bar Bandini on Monday night and Thursday night. Any of those times you catch me in live, in real person, we can rock out.
So all these places you're doing cheese there?
I serve craft beer.
Southland, we're trying to get cheese going.
So it's like your DJs, man. They just DJ in different spots. This motherfucker's cheesing in different spots.
Bandini, I serve food, but you know I do all kinds of stuff there. And then, so my Instagram is prof_chomp.
Prof Chomp?
PROF_chomp. Wait, no. Wait. That's
back
not
that
it.
up.
That's not it.
Hold on, 10 viewers.
I don't use that very often. I think it's actually CPT_fakebeard, Captain Fakebeard.
What the fuck? That was nothing compared to _chomp.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's CPT_fakebeard.
I got it. Fake beard. Here it is. I got it.
So Captain Fakebeard is an old reference from college. Me and my literary and poet friends used to call.
CPT_?
Yeah, underscore Fakebeard. So me and my friends used to call Shakespeare Captain Fakebeard, and that was just like a joke, you know, Captain Fakebeard. But so that my Instagram I use a lot for words and images. So I'll take a photo and then I'll put like a poem or some kind of like inspirational saying.
That's you right there?
That's me with that gold
Bradley
beard.
Ray Thomas.
All right.
Now you have 323 followers.
24.
324.
Beyond that, you know, it's like you can direct message me on Instagram. I'll catch that, and then we can go from there. Whoever's out there, if you're interested in knowing more about anything.
Anything.
Yeah, you know, it's like
from the forest to the cheese, to the Great Lakes, to the Los Angeles, San Fran. From the shores of San Fran to the Los Angeles beaches.
To the smog of L.A.
Yeah, to the smog of L.A. No, Bradley, thank you for coming in, dude. And let's not forget about the cheese.
Okay.
Everybody, let's not forget about the cheese.
Never.
Let's not.
All right.
Never. Thank you very much.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
boom,
thanks,
boom,
guys.
boom, 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 boom. All right. We're going to end it, Pook,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, we're good to go.